can't see her, but there is a bean right here. Uh, there's, I am upstairs, Dad is downstairs, and I won. Didn't I win? Yes, I won. And tonight I am actually winding yarn. So I flipped over the ottoman to use as a yarn swift. Cause mine fucking broke. Yeah, that was not a great night for me. Oh boy, hold on. The webcam is not attached to anything, so it's like a wing and a prayer. Oh, that's not bad. All right, can I tilt my screen without losing it? Maybe. There we go. Yeah. See, there's her ears. She's here. Yeah. So I'm gonna wind yarn tonight because I am going to be duplicating a movie sweater. Not unlike how I duplicated a Louis Vuitton sweater last year, I think it was. Was that 2025? I think that was 2025. Hello, Marguerite. I'm getting my winding on tonight. I have a lot of skeins of a tweed that have got to become, well, I guess hanks that have to turn into skeins. I think that's the way it goes. And I need to not crochet quite so much, so this seemed like a good thing to do on live. How are you tonight? How's the weather? It won't choose a season here. It was, I think, 75 yesterday, absolutely beautiful. And then we had flash flood warnings overnight because a thunderstorm hit, which, to be fair, that is pretty spring in the mountains, so maybe I'm being unfair, but it's cold again today, so maybe not. And yeah, there's this, yeah. So it's just, it's that time of year when the weather doesn't know what it wants to do yet. Although I know it gets humid here, and we went out on Sunday and it was like 80 and humid, and like I know it was like the barest hint of what's to come. And luckily it reminded me I should get electrolyte tablets because it's going to happen. I do not temperature regulate well, and electrolyte tablets are an absolute godsend. Around we go. So what are you up to this week? Have you been working on anything fun? Oh, yes. Speaking of windy seasons, it's just kind of every season. I don't know. I think I like Widget, Kansas. Widget, Kansas sounds like a fun place. A town of industry, Widget, Kansas. Or so. I don't know if you can. I mean, she is so intent about everything tonight. Britt Bean. Yeah, we're talking about you. Are you very cute? I had to like remind her that she's allowed in this chair, which is so funny because she gets in it all the time. But she doesn't know why I'm up here. Like, why am I up here when I could be on the couch? So I had to like put her blanket down and say her name several times. She's just being weird. But she's a good girl. So this sweater I'm making, I think we were talking about this last live stream, which does not seem like it was 4 weeks ago. I seriously looked at the calendar. I was like, oh God, it's the end of the month. March kind of snuck up and then ran off. Oh, that'll be nice to move in with your daughter. Oh, I bet you're finding all kinds of stuff you forgot you still had. That's what it felt like when we did the big move. Like, coming across stuff, I'm like, I didn't know this was still in my house. I have not used it in 3 years. It doesn't need to be here. It didn't come across the country with us. But yeah, so last live stream, we talked about the sweaters from Banshees of Inisherin. Inisherin. I think I said it wrong. Super sad Irish movie. Yeah, a lot of mismatched stuff, I'm sure. Yeah, I had a lot of socks I got rid of because I never, even in cleaning and packing the entire apartment, could not find the matches. But one of the sweaters from that very sad Irish movie, I am making a duplicate of for a friend because the friend loves that very sad Irish movie and also the guy wearing the sweater. So I do love a reason for a weird little project. So weird little project. Also, it'll just be nice to have something worsted weight to work on. Because I just finished a dress in thread and I just finished shorts in, well, no, I guess the shorts were DK weight, so not as small as it could have been, but I did have to change colors every row, which is a lot. And then I had to add enough space for my ass, but that is how it usually is when I am working vintage patterns. The dress, actually, yeah, it's right here. So the link for this pattern is down in the description box. Let me get this. Here we go. Let me just do the top button so it doesn't, the front of it doesn't flop. So it's a pretty open work, bright purple, and then there is a jabot. It's not a lovely jabot. And then the jabot buttons. Oh, I have it inside out. That's why. So there are the buttons. These are, I think these are actually 1970s buttons, which is really fun because it's a 1970s pattern. But I managed to put the neckline on backwards because the pattern said, sew the jabot to the right-hand side. So I held it up in front of me and I went, you know, this is the right-hand side. And of course that was the left-hand side. So I had to, I have an extra button here. There we go. So I can close the neck fastening properly. So it actually, because it stands up. I just have to add a little, a stud, a press stud. That's what they call it. Stud presser. That's a very different thing. Yeah, it came out really pretty and it's a nice shell pattern. I have to go through my slips because it's, so this is size 5 thread. This is Omega thread. And I originally bought it to make something else, but that actually called for size 10 and I was wrong. So I was actually used almost all of the thread, which is great. Hey Trish. And there's a high-low hem, and I might have exaggerated the high-low hem. I don't think it was supposed to be quite this different, but it works. Thank you. Yeah, 1970s. It's linked in the description. I found a copy that isn't watermarked all to hell. There is a seller who just, there is such a thing as too many watermarks. That's, I'm just going to leave it there. But yeah, that's the latest finished piece. And then tonight we are preparing for another big project as I contemplate if I maybe have too much yarn in my house. And that's not a joke. Couple of orders came in all at once. So I think I'm going to have to unpack the chest and completely redo organization in the chest to fit everything. But I should have enough yarn. Boy, I hope for the rest of the year. Because I am already at 12,000 yards used and it's not April yet. That's a little faster than I meant to be. But How goes the huge Afghan, Trish? You mentioned it on the community page that you've got a big one you're trying to grit your way through. Yeah, I think the only reason I can find my couch is because I share it. Good girl. So, yes, so is it individual? Is it a granny Afghan, or is it just big and not a fast stitch pattern, or is it a fast stitch pattern but it's still big? Yeah, I have there's gray that goes on the collar of the sweater, and the first gray I grabbed for it wasn't quite right. So I needed to source out another one, and the best gray was on Hobby, and I was like, okay, I'll just do a couple projects worth of yarn on Hobby. That'll get what I need here, and I won't have an enormous amount of extra yarn lying around in terms of I always know what I'm doing with it, but everything will still fit into the chest. And then I spent enough money I could get a free lucky bag, which I don't normally go for lucky bags, but I have a project now that's basically all granny squares, and so single skeins are super useful for it, so I went for it. So yeah. What do we got? Ripple granny. Oh, it's a steep ripple. Okay. So is it are you having to pull the double crochets to a certain height? I'm doing that right now on a dress. Yeah, it takes so much longer when you have to make sure it's the right height. Even I only have to go up half an inch, thank goodness. And once I have the first one that matches how tall the chains are, it's super easy to repeat it, but you have to check every time. And so it's kind of like working back loop. It just takes so much more time because you got to make sure you're doing it right. You can't guess at that if you want it to come out right. I made something with those pulled up with long double crochets semi recently, and I swear it came out slightly weird because I think I got all of my double crochets a little too long. But for the life of me, I can't even think about it. I could go look on Ravelry, but I just haven't yet. You want down, but okay, come here. Hold on. There you go. She wanted down, but for those of you just joining us, the Yarn Swift is actually my ottoman turned upside down, and I don't want her jumping into the soft part of the the soft fabric on the underside of the cushion, because she would go through. She is little, but she is also 16 pounds. There we go. But I'm using that instead of my Yarn Swift because my Yarn Swift snapped on me. And then the yarn winder, the top of it kept falling off. And so we're just working by hand for now while I decide what to do. Because that's the second Yarn Swift. Yeah, that was the second Yarn Swift to snap on me. And to be fair, both of these Swifts have lasted a very long time. But oh, that's awesome! Happy little monster things. Yay! That's great. Yeah, I do occasionally like watching yarn unboxings. But I don't know. I have to be in the exact right mood to enjoy it, I guess. I don't know why, because it's fun. I've done it on this. Well, I've done a variation. I've done the buckets where I explain what I'm making. So, oh, Fuggler, yeah. I thought it was cute yarn unboxing and bought like kits. I misunderstood, but that could also be cute. Yes. So for those of you who don't know, and I didn't know this until I was at a 7-Eleven on the Turnpike. There is a set of absolutely grotesque stuffed animals called fugglers, Fuggglers. And the thing is, they're meant to be ugly cute, and they all have weirdly human teeth. And I was coming back from a work trip, and it was just sitting there at the 7-Eleven, and it was a Sphinx cat that looked like it just was done with life. Yeah, my monster. It has button nipples and a butthole. It's a little tan button to make the butthole. We have named it King Rut. It lives with the haunted dolls. So yeah, it's there is a terrifying photo on the community page if anybody wants to go look at it. I did post it when I got it, but as required in all cases of the cat distribution system, I brought it home without telling Sean it was coming. So that was a very fun time. All right, come on, there we go. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but there's like a lot of really pretty bits in here. I mean, it's a tweed. So, yeah, apparently they are a thing. I looked them up when I got home because I was like, this must be something that was like, popular for a short period of time, and I missed it because, I'm not a parent. And this is definitely one of those things that a parent's like, oh God, my weird kid. Or, hey, all right, something for my weird kid. Depending on how you feel about your weird kid any given day. But no, apparently they're like still popular, which is hilarious. And they have like a whole set of cat themed ones that I think are my favorites, although there's a lot of great ones. Yeah, this is Tahki Donegal. I think it's pronounced Donegal Tweed. So the name is typed out correctly in the description. I got it off yarn.com. I think it was like 15 a skein, and I got it on sale for 11. So really, for a nice tweed, not bad at all. Ugly donut, ugly cheeseburger. Oh, I didn't realize there were food ones. I know there's a line of Lord of the Rings ones because it was on their main page, and I laughed because it's terrible. I love it. Yeah, it's amazing the weird shit you can bring into your house when you have room to put weird shit in your house. But honestly, that's been my goal my whole life, is to have enough house to put weird shit in. So, it's working out. What else is... come on. We're getting near the end, so the last few go-rounds here are looser. I'm just trying not to tangle up anything. I was very pleased. The yarn that I did tangle up... oh, yeah, that high chair was a find. I have more creepy dolls to add to it. I almost bought a wooden tricycle at a like, it's vintage stuff, but like they go to estate sales, they don't curate kind of in a super particular way. But they had like an old tricycle, and I'm like, when I get a couple more dolls. No, I did not see the photos. I will have to go look. My community tab keeps trying to show me what's most popular, and I have to keep explaining to it that I am, the person who is in charge of this place, and I need to see what's new. It's a very important part of things. Hold on. But yeah, so I have I found like a 1980s doll that, like, I think was probably just a update from the 40s because it's got that haunted look in its eyes. Ooh, I'm gonna go right now then. Let me see. Opening a tab to go to YouTube while I'm live on YouTube. This is the true experience. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. Oh, the purple, and that is gorgeous. Love that. And that is a beautiful blanket. Oh, was that the mandala blanket you were working on? Was that you who was working on that? Was that the one we've talked about before? I think that was you. It looks great. I love it. Blankets with that much texture to them are one of the few things that I will be like, I could make this in white. One down, several to go. I have these two, and all of these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10 in here. It looks absolutely great. It does look very stained glass, which I'm sure was the intent. Only 48 rounds. That's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that a bulky, a super bulky? Or is someone just very good with double crochets with worsted weight and I should be jealous? All right. Number 2. I'm already really liking winding this yarn because it only has one tie-up spot, which means I don't have to worry I'm going to suddenly stop short because I hit one of the other tie-up spots. Like, I understand the reason for multiple tie-up spots, but this is nice. Oop. Oh, of course. All right. 3 days. Oh, you must be so sore. 3 days on a blanket that big? We gotta rest our hands. I say to myself most of all, do I listen? Really depends. All right. Oh no. Don't make a liar of me. Okay, there we go. That's fine. I was like, wait a minute. The first one only had one tie-up. Certainly the other ones must only have one. Oh. Well, hi there. Awesome. I usually I shall call you freehand. I'm winding yarn tonight because I'm getting ready to dupe a sweater from a movie. And we just sit and chat about what we're working on and whatever else comes up. I'm reading a book about the Salem witch trials. I have linked information about that down in the description box. So, you know, if you like stuff like that. Yeah, we hang out, we have a good time. Trish is trying to snap all of her fingers off at once. Oh, front post, yeah. Yeah, I really felt it the other night working on those long double crochets. It was, I don't know why, it just was hitting hard the other night. Yeah, so it's called The Witches by Stacy Schiff. I'm about 150 pages in, and it's just like, it's giving the events, but also looking at kind of the cultural side of things and all of that. Like, the ways that it's interesting that it was teenage girls who were doing the accusing and, like, you know, what life was like. And man, having been through one winter in Pittsburgh, which is not even like full on New England. I understand why all of this started happening at the end of a really hard winter in New England. I would also be wanting something to do with my time. Oh, I came up on you for you because Trish hangs out with me. That's awesome. It's that is great. I love that. I am. Is it March? Yeah, it's still March. I don't even know. That's what the last few weeks have been. And we just confirmed we've got family coming up in a few weeks, which is going to be great. Very excited about it. And we have no plans this weekend because we ended up doing a bunch of stuff last weekend. And so we're just not trying to have plans. And I'm waiting for the weather to stop going from 75 to 40 overnight. Although the rain last night was awesome. It was a big thunderstorm, which I very much enjoy. The dog was not a fan because she didn't want to have to get off the porch to go to the bathroom. But then she also wouldn't go anywhere on the porch. So I don't know what she wants from me. Like, I was fine with her going on the porch last night if she didn't want to go in the rain. And like, there's a pile of leaves there that, could be of use, but nope. And I would show the new people my dog, but she is in her bed on the other side of the room. So I'm going to just let her do that. 60, yeah. I think it was 74 here yesterday, and it was down in the 40s again today. It was 80 over the weekend. And we went out and did some things because it was nice, and humidity absolutely takes me out. So I got to remember that over the next couple of months as it reaches its peak. Yeah, she's a princess, and which is funny because we got her in when we lived in Portland, Oregon. So you think she'd be used to the rain, never liked to go out in it ever, but she knows she has to go to the bathroom if she signals to go out. She cannot just get to come back in because she thinks it's too gross to be outside. And she did a good job. I finally did have to pick her up and just drop her off the edge of the porch. And once the rain hit her, she was like, okay, fine, I guess I'll go. So our accord was met and she was allowed to come back in the house. I say aloud like I locked her out there. I was out there with her. It was not a great time. But we kept power, which is very nice. Because apparently at some point overnight it went out for like maybe a minute because apparently Sean had to reset the microwave but not the stove. The 1940s poofy dress. It is it's going well. The poofy dress is going well. I'm working on the bustier now. That's the one that's got the long double crochets. I got 2 more skeins of the pink that I need for it because I'm not sure I have quite enough. And I did a big hobby order to get the correct shade of gray for this sweater. It's mostly blue, but the collar is gray. And I about had a heart attack because I clicked on it on Hobby because that's where I got the rest of the BC Garn Lino. And Hobby was like, this yarn is being discontinued. I'm like, no, they're not carrying it anymore. It's still around. It's fine. But I was like, things I don't need to know, no terrifying me in the midst of a big project. And then I made this dress. Yay. Looking forward to wearing it. Actually, with family coming in, it'll give me a really good excuse to remember to wear it because, like, I'm mostly dressed like this right now because I work from home. So, oh Oh yeah, this is Omega thread number 5, and I think it's just fuchsia. And I have a link to the pattern down in the description box. I made the mini skirt version. There's a maxi and a mini. I actually made it maxi skirt width because it was much wider along the bottom than the mini skirt. And I was like, that's going to give me the actual fit I'm probably supposed to have because I don't have 1970s hips. All right. I do quite a bit of thread. It's funny because I just finished a project that felt like it was thread, but that was because it was I had to change colors every row, so it kept going. And then I ended up having to frog out about half of it because my resizing failed and I wanted to do it right. So that was a frustrating 24 hours, but the results were good. The shorts fit, the zipper stays up. Kind of all you can hope for. What are we making? I am currently winding yarn for a sweater. So if Trish, you'll remember this. I don't remember if Marguerite was around when we were discussing it, but last month's live stream we were talking about the sweaters from Banshees of Inisherin, which is one of the saddest Irish movies of all time. I've never watched it because I knew it was going to be one of the saddest Irish movies of all time, and then my husband went, "Yeah, it is." But Barry Cogan, who is a talented actor, wears a blue sweater with a gray collar that was hand knitted by an amazing lady named Delia. She hand knitted all of the sweaters for the movie. They gave her, I think it was they gave her like 2 weeks of sweater, and she made like 4 sweaters for like grown ass men. It's nuts. Like, I hope she got paid real well. And then, so I am winding the yarn to start on that. I will be just freehanding it. If anybody remembers my spite run at Louis Vuitton for their $3,500 sweater made out of polywool and fake pearls, it'll actually look kind of similar, except this one will be made with love and affection. So, Banshees of Inisherin, I think it is. I might be pronouncing the town name wrong. It's Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson and Barry Cogan, and it's if you know playwrights, it's Martin McDonagh, who also did In Bruges, which is Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and that one's great. It's Martin McDonagh writes exactly 2 kinds of plays. One, hilarious tragicomedies, and 2, the saddest thing to ever exist, and I can never see it. And that's that. Actually, no, wait, there is a third one, which is completely fucked up dramas. I forgot about Pillow Man for a second. So, yeah. And so Banshees is, so he directed In Bruges when it became a movie. He's now directed Banshees. And it was very well regarded. But from the trailer, I was like, nope, not doing that to myself. If I wanna have an ugly cry, I will just have an ugly cry. I don't need to do it during a movie. But it's about it's basically about Brendan Gleeson one day tells Colin Farrell, who is his best friend, "I'm not friends with you anymore. I don't like you." And it's a movie about depression, but also it's a movie about the Troubles, hence sort of the inciting incident being, "I've decided I don't like you anymore." And it's got some amazing knitwear. And the reason I'm not knitting this is because I don't knit. I know all the motions. I just I don't like having live stitches. So that is one of the reasons that's one of the reasons I have been able to become the niche sort of crocheter I am, of like, oh, I found all of these dresses from way back. Why don't we just make them? Because I don't have a secondary fiber art to distract me. I don't consider that a pro tip, more of a biographical fact. I also have never gotten along with a single sewing machine in my life, which is why I don't tend to sew things except by hand. I like cross stitch all right, but I prefer the crochet. The odds of crochet. Pardon me, I am getting my hair grabbed. Speaking of crochet, I got this at a local yarn shop and was delighted to find it. And it holds my hair. Also, I'm really glad the big hair clips have come back. I know they're going to go out of style again, and I'm going to look like a hopeless loser when I'm still wearing them, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's Moon and Yarn Craft Room. I forget which neighborhood it's in. It's hilariously, I know it's near a brunch place that we haven't eaten at. I missed some pieces. Hold on. Because we actually were going to eat at a brunch place. We took a Friday off. We were going to eat at this brunch place, go to this yarn store, maybe go to a couple other places. And we got to the brunch place and we'd made a reservation because it was very busy. And they were not serving brunch because on Fridays during Lent, they have a fish fry. Now, I can't really eat fish because of the histamines, and I definitely can't eat fried fish because of the celiac. So we just went to Starbucks because there was one down the street, and then we went to the yarn store. And I bought enough yarn for 3 pairs of shorts that will eventually show up on the channel, and the clip. I also meant to buy a pair of super cute scissors that look like cat paws, but I got distracted and forgot. But I need to go back anyway because I need yarn for a pencil skirt. So good a reason as any. And then the next weekend, we were like, okay, we failed at brunch last weekend. Let's find a different brunch place and go there for brunch because we love a good brunch in our house. So we tried to go to a brunch that was, I don't know, about half an hour away. Like it's technically next town over, I think. They had an hour-long wait, and I was not up for that. It was 40 degrees. There was no inside place to sit while we waited. So, again, we went to Starbucks. But then we found a really great, I think it's called Money Mike's Vintage Store. And it's like estate sale items. They buy pallets off of various stores. So we went there and we ended up bringing home a gigantic ottoman, a very fun refrigerator magnet, and then I found, because they go to estate sales, there were a bunch of really beautifully cross-stitched linens, and I picked out a tablecloth that should fit our table really nicely. So I love a good hope chest tablecloth. I think probably all the ones that we have from Sean's grandma they probably weren't all hope chest, but I think some of the shelf liners we have were probably early marriage, and they work wonders. Turns out the reason you have those is not only to beautify your home, but it also makes it easier to get all the dust off your furniture. The things you learn as an adult. Oh yeah, I love finding old handwork. I love the people who like find the old blankets and turn them into new stuff. I remember I saw someone who did it with a bedspread, and I did have that moment of, oh my God, but that beautiful bedspread. I'm like, she made a beautiful dress. It wasn't going to be anything else. It's okay. It has lived its life. Yeah, so we had a good day. And then tomorrow I'm going to read my book about the Salem witch trials, and I need to commit to editing some videos. I'm behind. I mean, not from your POV. Oh, hi camera. Thanks. I do crochet. I usually crochet on live stream, but tonight I'm winding for a new project. So excited to have a big worsted weight project coming up. Right now I have a fingering weight gown. That's what, hold on. That's what all that is. That's drafting for a gown. I have that's in work downstairs. What else is downstairs right now? 2 other things are downstairs. Hi, Nat. I don't know. I can't remember what else. Oh, I have a blouse downstairs that's size 10 thread from a 1960s mail order pattern. One of those that should actually fit pretty easily, which is exciting. And then, what is the third project in the buckets down there right now? Oh, it's the dress. It's the dress I was just talking about, the pink one with all the long double crochets. Yeah. Those are downstairs. And then the next thing going downstairs after tonight's live stream is, y'all. Oh, thank you. I got my glasses off of Zelo or Zeolu or however you say it. I made a video. I think it went up. The apron one went up just like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I mentioned that was the last knit picks I had in my house. I was wrong. The size 10 thread that is currently downstairs is knit picks, and so is the size 3 thread I will be using to make a little short set from the 1970s. But at least I can just tell you what size thread they are, and it doesn't matter where you get it from. Because yes, I do. I am, for those of you who do not know, I have a standing beef with knit picks because of a lack of transparency over an insect infestation they were having at a warehouse, to the point that they blocked me on Instagram. So, crochet tips. What crochet tips? Rest. Stretch your hands. What other crochet tips? Don't forget to stretch. Like, honestly, remember that your body is one of your tools. You got to keep your tools in good shape. So you got to keep your body in good shape. You got to rest. You got to relax. Do as I say, not as I do. So that's my biggest crochet tip. The other thing is, I think it can be really fun to learn the difference between US and UK terms, because it really opens up how much stuff is out there for you to make, especially if you get into vintage stuff like I did. A lot of the stuff that I have is Australian and English. And so getting used to the 2 different bits of terminology and being able to go back and forth gives you a lot to work on. And also, make whatever makes you happiest. Like, if you try something new and you don't enjoy making it, you don't have to make it again to find out if it sucks for you or not. Like, you didn't like making that one, you're probably good to go. Like, you know how you feel about it. Same thing with yarn weights. Same thing with, I have a beef with jumbo yarn, but I try to save that rant for once a year. But yeah, if you have something you love to make and it's the thing that you want to make, and you don't want to spend a lot of time learning new things, that's totally fine. Crochet is meant to be a fun hobby. All of this right here, I am making 0 money on purpose so that I don't have to follow the trends or kind of keep up with what everybody else is doing. I can just fuck around and do what I want. So those are my crochet tips. The jumbo yarn rant. All right, I might do that. So hook sizes for thread can vary. Size 10. So here's what's really interesting. If you look at, you can find old patterns that are mail order, and they will give you instructions for like a 34 chest and a 36 chest. And the only difference is you go up a hook size. And so like size 3 thread is about the size of fingering weight yarn. Oh, thank you, Nifty. That's very sweet. In that, like, usually size 3 thread, you can just dupe it for a fingering weight yarn, and vice versa. Although the size 3 thread will work up with a little more structure than like a wool or a blend, because it's a pure cotton and it's been treated to give you a certain sort of look and feel. But size 3, you can generally work size 3 thread on like a 3 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter super easily. The dress that I just made right here. So this was actually size 5 thread, which is a little bit thinner than size 3 thread. Thread's a fucking mess, y'all. But it can also dupe for fingering weight yarn in the right circumstances, and I gauged it out, and it did in this case. And this whole dress is made on a 4.5 millimeter, which you would think would be too large for a thread, but it really depends on the project. Now, when you're getting into the tiny threads, actually, hold on, I have an example. Enjoy my sweatpants. Aha. Actually, I think I was working on this last live stream. So here it is. This is the Dickie I was working on last live stream. And this was supposed to be worked, this is size 20 thread. So here you go. Size 5. Whoop. Size 20. The bigger the number, the smaller the thread. And this was supposed to be made on a 1.25 millimeter, but the measurement was wrong on the starting chain, so I ended up working it on a 0.75. So I've worked other size 20 projects on a 1.25 millimeter and never had a problem. That's kind of the go-to size for size 20. That was just a rarity. But yeah, threads can vary wildly, and the hooks get very, very small. The smallest one I have is a 0.6 millimeter, and I have more than one pattern for them, believe it or not. It's I feel like thread is an either or. Either you love it at like size 3 and size 10, or you love it at size 30, which is like the other most common size, like if you're doing doilies or whatever. Or you end up like me, where you're hoping that you can find a size 50 in a color that isn't white. I actually found some size 70 sewing thread that should dupe nicely for size 70 crochet thread, so I have a whole book of stuff I can make now. Oh, you've got hand-dyed wool coming up, Trish? That's awesome. That sounds gorgeous. Yeah, so if you went through your inspirations, you probably got the Aunt Lydia size 3s. I was eyeing those. I was at Michael's the other day, and I was kind of giving them a look. And then I remembered I probably should use up some of the yarn in my house. Oh, you've got one of the original thread bookmarks. Oh, those are so pretty. They're so delicate. The Dickie took several weeks. Just because such a tiny thread, such a tiny hook, and it's a shell stitch. So every one stitch is actually like, every one stitch was actually 7 stitches to make the shell. Yeah. I do not have a magnifying lamp, but I do have an OT lamp. I have like the craft lamp with the big bright bulb. I do want to get a magnifying lamp though, because I am doing more thread, and I don't know that I could actually get more nearsighted at this point. We don't want to find out. Yeah, you miss a stitch on that tiny thread, and you're either gonna find out quick, or you're gonna find out several rows later when you never wanted to notice. There is no middle ground. What am I? All right. Skein number 3. I don't technically have to wind them all tonight, obviously, but I want to wind like 4 of them, because that'll be a good start, because I need to gauge, since this is a freehand project, and then I do want to get a good start on things, because I have measurements, so I can hopefully get like the first measurement done which is kind of my goal when it comes to freehanding, is having enough yarn ready to get to whatever I consider to be the first important measurement, which I don't know what it is right now. I have to look at the measurements again. Because it's going to be a drop shoulder, so it will actually start about here, and then I'll work sideways, and so I'll be working sideways the whole time, and then just adding when I get to the mid body, and then if I manage to do it correctly, doing short rows to do the other sleeve, but I might have to fasten off and join if I manage to get my rows off, which, whatever, it's a freehand project. It's kind of all about how does this come together. But I did figure out, I think I could do the whole thing in half double back loop only, which is preferred because I was worried that it would have to be like a back loop only single crochet and then slip stitch rows, and I'm like, I really do like that person a whole lot, but that's, if I can find something else that looks like it's going to give me what I need without making me do that, that would be great. I saw something recently, I think it was on one of the Reddit crochet communities. I think someone had made slip stitch socks, and they look gorgeous. And I'm sure that they're cozy and warm, but I tried to make a slip stitch cuff for a pair of socks last Christmas and hated every second of it. Yeah, so I think what I need to do, because I do have a booklet of crochet patterns specifically from the war effort in the 40s, and it has, most of its projects are like single crochet back loop only. Oh no, come back. He's fine. And slip stitch, and then back loop only slip stitch rows on repeats. And I'm like, that's gonna be kind of what gets me to try it again, because it's like, here's a pair of mittens, and I actually have I think the mitten pattern I'm looking at right now for some yarn is single crochet slip stitch rows, but it's also in worsted weight, so I feel like that's the best way to get me to decide if I actually like doing something that I maybe don't like right now, is if I do it in worsted weight, is it less of a pain in the ass? But I feel that's true for all slip stitch projects. It's the same way I feel about people who make amigurumi and stuffed animals. Apparently there is a technique where you yarn under when you're pulling your stitches up that gives it like a smoother finish. And I am gonna need a real good reason to ever try it, by which I mean Sean or someone else I like a whole bunch asks me to make them a creature that uses that technique, because I'm not going to try that out on my own. I like trying new things, but I'm not looking to experiment that far right now. Perhaps at a later date, when I'm not 18 projects in so far this year. They're not all finished, but there are 18 on my Ravelry page. Just for this year, which is a lot. Okay, so you've just learned yarn under. Maybe it's a chenille thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know plushies. Like, I'm not the person to come to for anything about plushies. They are not my bread and butter. They're cute as hell. I love seeing what other people come up with. I am actually probably going to make one soon for a friend. But I make one about every 2 years because a friend asks for one. I do not make them in general. It's actually one of the things that makes going to craft markets and stuff fun, is seeing what the other crocheters are making that I don't, because then I can have it and I don't have to make it. And that's awesome. Okay, there we go. Scooting this in a little more. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm using the bottom of my ottoman, like the legs of it, because my yarn swift broke. And then my yarn winder started giving me attitude, so I am improvising and using my own two hands. There we go. I do not sit in this chair often enough. You think I would sit in it a lot because it's in my office, but my desk is like right there. So. Oh, I think you were showing us some of her work last time. We were looking at somebody's amazing doll work last time. I think I want to get some Bernay blanket and make. So I have a loop rug that came out smaller than anticipated. And the booklet it came from, it's all loop stitch rugs, and I really want to get some Bernay blanket, I think, and try to make another one in there. And I think I said in the video I made about it, which is queued up for, I think, April. Yeah, I think it's already in the queue. That I would love someone who loves Bernay blanket. I'd love to see them take one of these loop stitch blankets and go to town, loop stitch rugs, and like really have a good time. And I think I've talked myself into it because I really do like Bernay blanket. Bernay blanket is a real solid yarn. Oh, the Cow and the Dragon. Yeah, I remember. I was just thinking about those the other day. Oh, I was thinking about those the other day because I was on Etsy and they were doing the recommendations, and I got AI patterns of stuff like that, and I got mad because we found the good one. Yeah, stuff like Yarn Under is like, I find out because I'll end up on YouTube Shorts for like an hour or more if I'm not careful, and it'll come up there, and that's how I see that. And I'm like, oh, people are doing that now. Okay. I found out about the wheat stitch because of the Hirschner's catalog. Did you make like a big dragon, little dragon, medium dragon? I love dragon designs. They're always so cute. Second Yarn Under's not happening. I've lost my train of thought. We're about an hour into the stream, so that's right on time. Small dragon. Yay. Keep starting blankets. Yeah, I bought, so the yarn that I bought at Moon Yarn Craft Room was, I have 3 pairs of hot pants I want to make out of a booklet that is both knitting and crochet. And of the crocheted, there are 5 crocheted pairs. So I think it's a half and half. I think it's 5 and 5. So 5 knitted, 5 crocheted. 2 of the pairs, I just don't quite like the final look of them. One pair is like you lace up the sides and oh, thank you, Nifty. I appreciate that. And I'm not, I can wear whatever I want. I don't want to wear lace up shorts, I think is the best way to put that. The lace up the side shorts. And then the other pair have like a front flap that buttons up the front, and I'm like, we're not doing that. That just looks uncomfortable. But I did buy enough for the pair I just made, and then it'll be a pair of overalls, and then it'll be another pair of shorts, and then I'm making a lot of shorts right now. I'm actually trying to get some done before the weather turns. So, yes, you want a yarn chicken? I had a great yarn chicken win the other day and forgot to get a photo of it. I was so mad. But it was like I had half a yard left working on a scrap can. It was great. Well, Connor, The dog wants up but is confused. She does not understand why this thing is here in the wrong position. She's supposed to be able to climb on it. But no, Miss Bean, don't do that. I don't know what you're going through. Here, come here. Let's move that. Come here. Come here. Over here. Oh, you don't know what instructions are in here. Oh. All right. Oh, don't grumble at me. You're the one who wants on my lap. The creature. Yes, she's very cute. Oh, like a little Yorkie stuffy? Oh my god. Hey, Lansky. Hey, don't worry, babe. I'm winding your yarn when I'm not picking my dog up off the floor. So yeah, Lansky, who just popped in here, that's who the sweater is for. There we go. So anyway, more winding. We are on skein number 3. Yeah, this one is confused because I'm up here and Dad is downstairs, and we're supposed to be on the same piece of furniture. Oh, you don't like it already? Well, now cry about it when I finish and we're sure it fits. That's when we cry about it. I gave them a brief overview of Banshees and our love for Barry to make sure everybody understood. Yeah. Is it just a badly written pattern, Marguerite? Is it just like kind of confusing, or like oh, before I forget, Nifty, my jumbo yarn rant, to keep it short, is that for the same or less money, you can get way more in super bulky, which is a yarn size that has been around for ages, and be able to work it on crochet hooks you can find anywhere. Whereas jumbo yarn, you get like maybe 30 to 60 yards a skein, and it's really only good for making blankets. So you need a shit ton of yarn in your house all at once for a single blanket, but you're also going to be changing skeins like very frequently. So it's going to be a pain in the ass, and you have to work it on crochet hooks that were invented to work with jumbo yarn. So it's all just a gross cash grab, and I hate it. And also, if you are wanting to learn how to crochet and larger yarns feel better for you to start with, you're going to learn better and have more options of things to make working with a super bulky rather than a jumbo. And it is also financially going to be less expensive, even though each skein of a super bulky yarn like Brene Blanket, for example, is $15, $16, but you're getting 220 yards a skein, as opposed to this jumbo yarn that's $8 and you're getting 50 yards a skein. So fuck jumbo yarn. I hate all of it, and none of it washes well either way. It still came out meaner than I meant it to, but I stand by all of it. Yeah, super bulky you can use. Jumbo yarn is only good for jumbo yarn projects, and like, I don't even like buying 30-yard skeins of like super nice, beautiful hand-dyed, drop spindled, spun, beautiful yarn, because what the fuck am I doing with 30 yards? Didn't even get, oh no. What's the point of the kit if you don't get the materials? That's the kit. That is why the kit. Yeah, so like, I would recommend, if you're new and you want to try super bulky, Yarn Inspirations is where you get Brene, which is Brene Blanket, which is kind of the most beloved super bulky, I think. They're going to have a bunch of free patterns that you can sort of sort through and see what looks interesting to you. Ravelry is going to have a bunch of super bulky patterns. So I have no problem with super bulky. I just don't like jumbo. That is a good point, That is a good point, though. That the bigger the yarn, the bigger the plushie. But but depending on the yardage, you might only need 2 very large skeins of yarn in your house, as opposed to, I don't know. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna do math. Stand by. 30 goes into 50, 20. No, not 20. 30 goes into 60, 20. So yeah, if you were gonna, let's say a big plushie is 500 yards. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. And but let's say 500 yards for a plushie. That's, hold on. Technically, that would be 3 skeins of Vernay blanket because it's 220 a skein, and so you would need 3. But if you're doing 30 yards a skein, that's 10, 15, 16 skeins you have to have. So from a storage perspective itself. Yeah, I have strong opinions. But like I also try to have strong opinions on stuff that like I think is a reason to be pissed off about. I try not to have strong opinions on like what people make, how they make it, what yarns they use, that sort of thing, because like it's your hobby. Like it should be fun for you. The way you and I enjoy the same hobby doesn't have to match. You know, you could not be in a worse spot right now. I was wrong. She got me with her goblin claws right after I said she couldn't be in a worse spot. So I think I might have earned that one. Might be a stupid bulky snob. You know, if you're gonna be a snob about one yarn weight, I think that's the one, because it really is. I think there is a lot of. I think there's a lot more difference in like the quality and the content of super bulkies, given how much there is out there versus like you have so many options for worsted weight yarns. You know, like I don't see why there needs. Well, I don't think yarn snobbery in itself is silly, but the amount of worsted weight yarns you have to choose from, like that's not where you need to be putting your critique. Critique should be on the stuff that you have less options for. Because that's the stuff where you're not going to have much of a choice where your money goes. So you might as well put it towards the stuff that works the best for you. And as opposed to like would I make a sweater for myself out of acrylic? No, not because I have a problem with acrylic. It's because I don't temperature regulate. Acrylic is a bad choice for me. But luckily, because worsted weight is what a lot of sweaters are made out of, I have lots of choices about what I can do instead of that. Now you get into fingering weights. Boy howdy, I hope you're not allergic to wool. I am not, thankfully, but yeah, it's fingering weights tend to be wool based, and even then I and they're so often like variegated, whatever that word is. You know what gets me about 2 strands together is I don't know if it's the way that I stitch or what, but no matter how big the strands are. Always hurts. But I know there is something about doubled over worsted that like really does something special in terms of why am I doing this to myself. But it may just be the way that I stitch. Oh, that's right. You had the thumb thing going on. You know, I've had a couple of prickly alpacas too. It's interesting. Like I've had some like I would say 90% of the alpaca I worked with, beautiful, love it, would use it again. But no, like um I made a set of hand warmers I had to give away because my hands they just made my palms so itchy. And I was like, I've never had a problem with alpaca. This will be great. Mohair can be like that. Mohair gets very very prickly sometimes. And I never know which mohair it's going to be. Uh, so do you use fingering yarn a lot? Marguerite, I'd be interested to know what you're using when you're allergic to wool. Maybe it's that I'm just buying. I always end up buying sock yarn. Maybe I am my own skewed uh, data point. Things are getting tricky around the ottoman legs. Actually, hilariously, the lucky bag I got from Hobby was all wool based. Well, they said it was lucky wool, and then there was like I think one skein of pure acrylic, and then another skein that's like 90% acrylic, 10% wool, which made me laugh. Oh, like I didn't truly appreciate wool as an option until I moved to when we moved to Portland and it was damp all winter. I'm like, oh, this is why we have wool. Um, and then now in Pittsburgh, it's more, oh, this is why I have layers of wool. Um, but yeah, I imagine especially because like using natural fibers has become more of a thing, and so more of the large brands are using natural fibers more often, and so I have wondered how that um, does that annoy uh, people just trying to make things for themselves and find a product that they can actually use and will keep them warm without it being wool. Just a second. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone go off, and the only reason that would be happening is, but it was not my phone. Okay, like the only reason that would be happening right now is Sean is doing something and needs me to know, but he should be downstairs watching a movie. Speaking of various movies, he's watching Megalopolis because he wants to. I'm letting him enjoy that on his own. I love movies. I'm not really interested in that one. So is it acrylics? Are acrylics the answer when wool is not the answer? Or is there another animal fiber that I might not be aware of? I mean, because cotton doesn't insulate the way that wool does. Linen doesn't insulate the way that wool does. So I'm thinking of it as like a warmth thing. You got to make that cardigan for yourself, Trish. That's what we do with the good stuff the first time. When we've saved up a whole bag of something pretty, we got to make it for ourselves. Or do what you want. It's your project. I'm not going to show up at your house. Okay. I think I'm going to have a good stretch after this skein. Somebody, I don't know if it's somebody who's hanging out here tonight, but mentioned they wind yarn by putting it on their knees and sitting on the couch. I did that the other night. That works really well. I got a couple of skeins done doing that. That was great, but I wasn't sure how that would look on camera. So, yeah, maybe next time. Oh, you're gonna look like a forest witch. Ooh, it's thundering. Can't see shit. I cannot tell you if it's raining. I can't hear it, so. But that's definitely thunder. So yay. I say safe inside and hoping the lights haven't flickered yet, so I'm not worried. Ooh. Oh, you sent the storm up to me. I appreciate that. Bunch of yarn. Oh, wow. You hit up for a cardigan, fingerless gloves, and a headband. That's awesome. I love when that happens. Sean liked the colorway that two of the Lucky Skeins were. They're, I can show them to you in just a minute because, hold on, we're almost there. Number 3. All right. To get it upstairs, I had to move it all into one bag. So, hold on. This is for a top. And I have the other 2 skeins in here as well. So all of this is for one top. It's a 1950s blouse. A lot of 1950s stuff, like 30s, 40s, 50s. It's really common that it's just size 10 thread. And the hobby rainbow lace is just size 10 thread. They don't say that it's size 10, but I've worked with it before. So there's that. And then I have 2 skeins of this. And it's like, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's dark green on the outside, lighter green, yellow in the middle. It's, this is Dahlia. I haven't worked with this before, but it's 100% cotton, and I will be using it to make a romper because I have several romper patterns. It is. You called it. I think this is Dahlia worsted? I think it is. Oh, no, it's. Well, now I'm concerned that I bought the wrong size. But I may be remembering wrong. Hold on. The pattern is. So this is. I have all my digitized patterns on my Google Drive, and then I have them separated. There's like there's a huge bunch of them on the front page, and then I have them separated into subgroups, but I also have one that's just called Yarn and House for everything that I have yarn for. So I'm double checking myself on this. No, that is the right size. Okay. Whew. I mean, I have options. It's not a big deal. I just would have been disappointed. I almost got the pink one. I really did, but I've been making a lot of pink stuff lately. So I went with something different. Then this is Portobello, which I don't think I've ever worked with before. This is cotton acrylic wool. How much acrylic is that? Okay, yeah. When I do use acrylic, if it's for something I was gonna wear, I will do my best to get it with a blend that I know is gonna breathe a little better. So that might actually become something. I might use it. I don't know yet. Anything that I don't use from the Lucky Wool will be used to. Anything I don't use to make something for myself will be used to make something. So I'm not worried about it. And then I got, this is Colorina, which is an acrylic and wool, kind of sheepdog colors. Sean really liked that one, so he's gonna get a new hat. Let me see. Oh shit, he's gonna get a new hat, and I can make him another set of hand warmers. I have a hand warmer pattern. I have, it's granny squares, and then you sew them together and add a cuff, and I've made so many pairs. They are nuts. And then I have this extra fine merino, which actually I was wanting to try anyway, so I have 2 of those. Probably make something for myself because I like the lavender. I don't know what I'm making for myself though. I was looking at all my hat patterns and nothing was quite right, so I might freehand a hat for myself for once, which does not happen as often as you would think. All right, hold on. I don't want to put it back in the bag because I want the bag to go back downstairs. Because it was just, aha, here's the rest of it. All right, so this is Happy Sheep Baby Wool. Whoop, there we go. Look at that Happy Sheep. Never worked with it. Yeah, it's a real, I love a lavender that has a little depth to it. It can be, it goes, I guess that's something I am bitchy about, what lavender actually means when I'm buying it. But yeah, this feels really nice, and it's 100% pure wool, which is great. It's a super fine. Okay. I will look through. Here's Lansky, if you're still around, this will make you laugh because this is one of the other grays. So the reason I have all this new hobby yarn is because we needed the proper gray for the collar of the sweater. So it's going to be this gray with this blue. It's going to be amazing. And the original gray was, I can see it too, this gray, which looked right on screen, but I think we can notice a subtle difference. There's my, I don't know where my camera is. There we go. Yeah. So I have 2 skeins of this. I'm going to be making mittens. And then now I have the good and proper gray for the sweater. But then this is also Friends wool. And funnily enough, there's another project I have in mind that will need a lot of Friends wool. That will be me doing a duplicate of an aviator jacket from like 1940 because I saw it in Masters of the Air. And the thing is, you can actually order it. It's gorgeous. They make it beautiful. Like it's done by people who do that kind of historic work and, you know, recreate historic items. And it's between $1,500 and $1,800, which is a lot. But I can get all the yarn and just make one for myself for about $800. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it right now, obviously, but part of the thing is that Hobby makes a bushil that will also match the shearling on the inside of the jacket. So, and the connection there is that Barry Kogan was also in Masters of the Air. So this is all really his fault. No, no yarn goes to waste in my house. If I don't use it, it will go to somebody. Before we moved, I went through and all of my odds and ends I put into a basket and had a friend come over. And I'm like, go to town. And then everything that did not walk out the door with them walked out the door to the like craft supply, like secondhand store that takes all that kind of stuff. And then people can just buy what they need. Like, and apparently they are always looking for yarn because kids still do a lot of yarn crafts. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm making Egan's jacket. I'm gonna do a crochet version of Egan's jacket, which I think is the B3 you're talking about. Lensky actually knows the terminology of these jackets. I'm just like, jacket pretty, need. Okay. This is the 100% acrylic I just got as part of the Lucky Wool, which is very funny. Super soft though, very soft and squishy. So that's Amigo from Hobby. Like I picked it up and you know, this is the acrylic test. Is it soft? Is it not? Yeah, really like it. I'm gonna empty out the chest later anyway. I have this brown. This is more of the Friends wool. Making slippers for Sean that are from the 1970s. So they're moccasins, which like is a style of shoe, but they're also like, don't forget the beads so you can make them authentic. And I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? I don't know that we've had the lengthy conversation about the B3. We need to. That's very important. For those of you who are not aware, I am actually pretty well versed in World War II history to a certain extent. Like, I am not a scholar, but I have been reading and watching stuff about World War II since I was like 13, because that's the kind of 13-year-old I was. So, like, Lansky and I need to have this conversation. I also got, I was working all that Tweed. I got 2 flavors of Tweed Delight. So I have, there are different kinds of Tweed Delight too. That's really funny. Or I think they changed the label. Hold on, let me check. Wool acrylic. Yep, this was a label change, which I find really funny. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Bomber jacket. It's a bomber jacket. Thank you. Yeah, so the B3 bomber jacket was like the original bomber jacket made for the B-17 pilots, maybe all pilots. I don't know. Lansky will know. And it discolored really quickly, and so the darker jackets are partly darker because then when they discolor, you can't see it as quickly. Oh, I guess it would have probably been for the B3 bombers now that I think about that out loud. Oh my goodness. I cannot imagine what it must have been like. Like, very lucky that I have no family knowledge of any attacks that have ever happened in the US. I have gotten off easy. Brown and worse brown. Yeah, so 2 flavors of Tweed. Bright pink, super bulky for my slippers. And this is acrylic. I do acrylic for slippers because it just holds up real well. And my feet get cold enough. Like, My feet don't temperature regulate, but in the opposite direction of the rest of my body. So if I'm warm, my feet are cold. All right. That's the entire hobby order that just came into the house. Not to be confused with all the other yarn that has recently come into the house. It's been, I have to do a thread order and I'm trying to put it off just so I don't have so there's not more yarn coming into the house right now. Yeah, that was the Amigo XL, yeah. It's super nice. Yeah, like the single skein I got, like, this is a little textured too. That's gonna be great. I didn't realize they had a little texture to it. That's nice. Yeah. Those are gonna, I'm trying not to just make the slippers because they would be fast, because I'm like, that doesn't actually help with getting my other projects done, and I am trying to finish a few things. But it is tempting, I won't lie. All right, let's see. That's Lansky. All right, I'm just putting everything, getting everything off the floor. So, hello. Good enough. All right. Yeah, so honestly, everything I just showed you the yarn for, you might not see a video of until sometime next year. That's how things are looking right now. You know, I've watched Masters of the Air twice at this point, and I don't think I ever caught on that the jacket that he trades is so much worse than the jacket he was wearing. That is, oh, you idiot. So to keep myself from falling on my ass in my slippers, which is an excellent question, I tend to go with Shugu. And I just do some very uneven stripes, but enough that I get good traction. I might actually try to do a twine sole that I will then sew on and then put the Shugu on that, just because that'll give me a little extra padding between my foot and the floor. Yeah, so Shugu is let me see if I have some. Let me check the cart, because then I can show you the packaging. I might have gotten rid of it before the move, because it's not something you want to explode in a moving van. A few things are, really. No. Okay, yeah, I did get rid of it. That makes sense. So Shugu it's an adhesive, and it's usually used to make repairs to shoes. It might be silicone. Let me, hold on. I can drop you a link, but I've used it. I've used it for ages. And it comes in different sizes. That's not what I need. Can I get a real link to a place people shop? Google, just for fun. All right. Amazon will work in this case. So yeah, it's used for repairs a lot. Like, I know everybody I grew up with who used work boots used Shugu. And so it's good for repairs, but it also is just, once it's on, and it's not going anywhere. I actually, the first time I used it on a pair of shoes was for cosplay. I made matching slippers to go with the dress that I had crocheted, and I put the Shugu on the bottoms because convention center floors are just smooth concrete, so you're just going to eat it if you try to get in there with that tread. And I literally ended up turning those into just knockaround slippers, and it took The shoe goo stayed on the whole time. I finally wore a hole in the bottom of them where the shoe goo wasn't, though. That's what finally killed those. So very, very reliable option for just putting a little tread onto something. And I know that you can buy like the slipper soles and the cat soles and that sort of thing, but I have come up short wearing like the cat soles that will stop, that will stop you real hard. Not great for my hip. I would rather slide. The chronic pain game of, well, this will help you slip less. I'm like, well, but actually it's better if I have a little more control over my movement, even if that movement is maybe hitting the wall. Did that the other week. Oh, several weeks ago, but all right, I got time for one more. We're opening the big bag. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever ordered in bulk like this from yarn.com before, but I approve of the amount of tape to keep this closed. That's not bad. Which is hilarious because they and Knit Picks are owned by the same conglomerate. So, yep. Oh, there we go. All right. Number 4. Close up. I'm just so glad that, yeah, it's a big bag. That is, I think it's 12 skeins. So, it's a good stack. All right, there we go. Hold on. There we go. Where is, come on. Got it. There's always that moment when you start it where you don't know if it's which direction it wants to wind. But it is cooperating now. And if I have anything of the blue left over from the sweater, I do think another pencil skirt is going to be on the docket because this would make an amazing pencil skirt. And I can just tell by the feel of it that it's going to work up with a nice shape to it, which is how I've designed my pencil skirt, is to you want a yarn that's going to sort of fit against you real nice. It's a gorgeous blue. It's going to be so nice to work with. And there's all these little speckles in it that I don't think the camera is picking up. But it does have all the Tweedy speckles that you need. Oh, hey, there's a good, hold on. Come on, camera. Oh, you're trying. But I have a piece on the Bitch Y project to finalize before I can record, but hopefully I'll have something up in April about how that's going. Much less annoying than I thought it was going to be. And for those of you who don't know, the Bitch Y is a very special project designation that I give to a project I really want to make, but I know it's going to drive me crazy. And this year we are making a party dress that includes me having to sew a strapless top to a bustier, and make a separate waistband and then sew it evenly across a skirt that is made to 2 inches wider than my waist. But the actual stitching itself has been going very well. So you can always make an A-line. So the way you make an A-line is you start out making a pencil skirt, but then you just keep adding increases until it looks like an A. So the pencil skirt design that I do, which is, I mean, it's just years of making pencil skirts from other people's patterns and figuring out what works best for me, is you do them, you do 4 increases. You do them as raglan increases. So it's 3 stitches, a 3-stitch increase. And you do them on, like, if this is the side of your leg, you want to do it at the kind of right here and right here on the side of your leg, because that's, excuse me, bless me, because you want it on the side of your leg where you're going to need that extra room, because what that's going to do is it's going to give you the extra room, but then that extra room is going to curve over your butt. And that's how you get, like, if you're looking to get that really, that like snug pencil skirt shape, that's what you do. You can also just work an extra set of increases past whatever like is hugging you to get like a more straight line pencil skirt. But to get an A-line, it's thank you, Nifty. It's just you keep working those same 4 increases beyond what you would for a pencil skirt, and that will give you that A-line shape. And if you want to do a big full skirt, you you decide how many increases you want to work around, and you keep them going all the way down to get a proper circle skirt. And in the sense that, like, it's not going to sort of, when you make a hat and you stack your increases, it becomes like an octagon. Same thing can happen on a circle skirt, although it's harder to see because it's a skirt, not a hat. But what you want to do is vary where you set your increases so that you're not stacking them very often, and then you can have more of a circular shape. I've made a lot of skirts, if that's not clear. I do zippers. And what I do there is I work in rows until I work the last increase for what would be the pencil skirt. And then I work in rounds after that, and then I just have the zipper fit the part that I didn't, that I worked in rows to begin with. There is, hold on. I did, my original pencil skirt design was a pull-on. Made it to the front page of Ravelry. This was many years ago and was very weird because I was not expecting that. But that one did not have a zipper, and a couple of people were like, how would I put in a zipper? And then and then my body also became a body that needed a zipper. So that link is directly to the latest version of my pencil skirt pattern that does include some notes on being able to make an A-line or fuller skirt. So I just updated it because I made the skirt that's in that photo, and I made the waistband on that too big on my own pattern. That's a little embarrassing, but so be it. I can make one of those pencil skirts pretty quickly just because it's worsted weight. All mine are worsted weight, and I can make, and it's all double crochet except for the waistband, which is single crochet. So it's just one of those you can work really easily, especially once you get done with the increases, because then you're just working even rows all the way down, unless you want to pull it in under the butt. But even then, that's like one set of decreases, and then you're good to go. But yeah, I have one that I've had for several years that continues to fit, which is great because my weights had some changes as well. But I have elastic in the waistband and then with the zipper in the back, so it it does the sorts of things that keep clothes that other people make for you fitting, even if your body changes on you a little bit. So I learned that I learned that the way I think a lot of us do, which is I worked a pattern that didn't have any of that, and then the shorts wouldn't stay up, and then when you add the elastic, the shorts stay up. So no, I just use a 5. I use a 5mm. Honestly, a 5mm with a good worsted weight, and it is double crochet, and we always think of that as being pretty see-through, but you get a slip under there, and it's totally fine. The other thing you can totally, like, the pattern is written. It's more of a tutorial than a pattern, so you can drop a hook size, and it's just about working to what your measurements are. So you are the gauge. Yeah, a 5mm with an Aran would probably be absolutely perfect. But like, yeah, it's all done to body measurements. So it is meant to fit with whatever yarn you want to use. It's just, of course, if you're using a smaller yarn and a smaller hook, you're going to make more stitches. That's pretty much, that's really all the difference is. I've been meaning to try to make a couple out of other weights because I just always default to worsted weight on them because that's what I've always used because I like it for my pencil skirts. But I keep meaning to remember to grab something to try it with something else. And then I get distracted because I go to the yarn store. If that, I'm sure that doesn't sound familiar to anybody here. Although once I finish with the dress that is, what that is about, I may not want to use small yarn for anything for a while because that's going to be a gown and a purse. And I'm still not sure. I might be making a hat. All in fingering weight yarn, and I am freehanding the gown, and it's a 2.25mm, which is actually not that bad, which shows you how I've gotten used to working with smaller hooks over the years. I have not done like splitting the seam sort of stuff. I've fiddled with it occasionally. And I would love to try to do it again because I watched tutorials about how to do it, and everybody who was doing it was using like a pizza cutter looking thing to put the holes in the fabric to work the yarn through, and they were using a lot more tools than I tend to use, and I tried it with the specialized tools method and didn't like it. And so I really think what I need to do is just get do it with just get a small hook to start, poke it through the fabric myself, and then go and then go about it. Kind of like how I start purses when I've got like the bottom piece. Yeah, I've seen some really cute stuff of people like getting old T-shirts and doing like the crochet sides or adding sleeves to denim vests. I enjoy those a lot. And it's so funny because that's the kind of stuff that I remember was like, that's what you could find in old crochet books at one point, and that it's kind of come back around I think honestly, just because somebody looked at a vest and was like, so kind of the history of the form coming back that way. Well, there we go. You can be old and new at the same time. You're keeping up with your old hobby, but doing new things. And the hobby's older than all of us. Oh, I'm gonna hairpin lace this year. I meant to do it last year and I got distracted. I know that doesn't sound familiar. I have an entire book of hairpin lace blouses that I am very nervous about. If you haven't worked hairpin lace, you make big long strips and then you have to sew them together somewhat accurately, and that's the part I'm worried about. You don't necessarily have to sew them together. Actually, you can also join them with crochet stitches. But I haven't worked with hairpin lace in a very long time and am excited to try to do it again. And I picked what I hope is the easiest blouse out of the book to start with. I have figured out tricks to projects that have a lot of pieces. Is I have to decide very early when I start attaching things. And so for something like a hairpin lace blouse, I probably won't sew everything together until the end because I want to make sure I have the right number of things that I need. But like granny square blankets, I do the continuous join when I'm done. But also when you're doing the continuous join, you can get everything joined up that you have. And then keep going on just making the squares. But yeah, there's stuff that it gets made. It's like, okay, I made all 4 pieces. If I don't sew them together right now, this isn't getting done for 6 months. If I'm lucky. I have on the back of my office door a tote bag. And in that tote bag are a bunch of granny squares that I've never joined together because I didn't join them together when I made them. And I think I made them like 5 years ago. And I keep swearing I'm going to sit down and join them together. And it hasn't happened. They're not enough for a blanket. And I'm not really a granny square vest sort of person, but I think that's how they would look best. So I'm just, they're 100% wool. They're not going anywhere. They can just hang out there. But yeah, they just sit there and wait for me to remember they exist. God, all right. So did you finish all the squares? Yes. Okay. Well, then we have that in common. We both have a granny square project that's just sitting there. And you know what? I think that's a sign of a healthy ecosystem. Like, I think it's good to have one granny square project you just have not finished. Like, you'll get there, maybe. And if not, you've already started the project for somebody else. Yeah, see, UFO status is exactly why I started buying for projects. Like, it was one of the things that led me to be like, well, okay, well, to finish it, I'm going to need 3 more skeins. But what if they don't match? What if the color, what if the dye lot is different? And then it became, well, did I buy enough to start this project? And then I was like, if I just buy for the things I know I want to make, then the yarn in my house, I know what I'm doing with it, and it does not become a no joke, days long game of figuring out what I'm actually going to make. I will just know what it's there for. Oh, I love a good poinsettia blanket. Was that a blanket? I feel like that was a blanket. Um, daffodils. Oh, daffodils with farmhouse granny squares. That's going to be so pretty. I do not currently, well, actually, I have a scrap can going of just whatever's left over from most of my projects. Like, I won't be including thread in there, but all my other yarn, I'm just gonna work onto granny squares, and I'm doing 10 rounds per square. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. Lavender blue with bright, bright yellow, I assume. Mm-hmm. Oh, that I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, I'm just gonna have, by the end of the year, I'm just gonna have a big multicolor Afghan that when I throw it into the wash, some part of it's going to felt, and I'm not going to care. That's how I made both of my corner to corner blankets too, and they're still going strong. Yes. Oh, we had some crocuses poking out the on the other side of the fence the other day, and I was admiring them. I'm sure I will see them again. Croci? Crocopods? Like octopods? Is it octopods? I think it's octopuses, and I can't believe that's true. It does not sound right. It sounds like you're trying to make a joke. There it is, octopi. Okay, yeah. So that was just my brain doing what it does, which is getting as close to a dirty word as it can. Oh, that's what it is. Is this Lansky? Is this your Does this make you have the moment that my vintage versus retro does to me, which is that they mean two very different things, and I'm going to die hilariously getting hit by a bus yelling at somebody's sign, which makes it very hard to tag my stuff on Instagram because I'm working from a vintage pattern, but what I am making is retro fashion. Because yes, I am using a vintage pattern, but I'm using all new materials to make something look like something from another time period. I'm not kidding you. Every time I post, I'm just like, oh. Oh, but not the beloved creatures. I love useless trivia. You know me. I am always for it. And of course, now I'm trying to think of like one to share back and nothing. Yeah, exactly. The patterns are vintage, but the product is retro because it's new looking old instead of actually old. Like, I have vintage clothing. But, the new dress, this is a retro dress with vintage buttons just to really complicate it. So, oh, it is like right at 9 o'clock too. No. Pet it? Me? No, I don't get paid to do that. We don't get paid to do that. Sleep well, Trish. And I am actually going to call it a night because it is time. So if you've had a good time here, I do this every fourth Friday. I won't be doing it in June. I'm taking June off. And almost. Oh, right. I keep forgetting which time zone I'm in. I was on the West Coast for so many years. I always have to remember I'm on like the latest time zone. But I do this every fourth Friday, except for June. June I'm taking off because I need to feel my thumbs again. And this is what happens. I'm usually stitching a project rather than winding yarn, but I needed to wind yarn tonight, and I am going to finish this skein up really, really quickly. So thank you for keeping me company while I did that. Everybody have an excellent time, and regular amount of videos coming up in April, so everything's looking good. I will talk to you guys soon.